Hey everybody, this is Kate from yourcourageouslife.com, and today I'm talking about something that I talk about a lot, actually, I realized, in person and with other people, and that I hadn't really talked a lot about on my website. So I'm gonna make a video about it. So here we go. Today, talking about owning the fear. So there's something that I find really weird about how people handle fear, and I don't think it's just because I'm somehow better at all this stuff. I think it's just a weird thing that we do in our society, and it's that we don't own the fact that we're afraid. Dr. Brené Brown talks about how with a concept like shame, her research has found that the more someone has shame, the less they want to talk about it. And the less someone is talking about shame, in fact, the more they refuse to talk about shame, the more they actually have it at work in their lives. And I would say that the exact same mechanism is in place when someone isn't willing to own that they are afraid. So here's what I mean by that. I see that people have things at work in their life that aren't working for them. Like, for instance, they will start things and not finish them. And if you start to talk to them about that, they'll not identify that as being fear-based. They'll just say, oh, I'm lazy, or I need better time management, or I'm too overwhelmed. I did a blog post recently on what I call faux fear, F-A-U-X, like the faux designer handbags and stuff like that, because there is a way that fear is at work in people's lives. And I've seen this over the last 7 years of working with clients one-on-one and talking to people and running e-courses and retreats and all these things that I've done. And I find everybody experiences fear. Not everybody always realizes that it's fear that's showing up when their lives aren't going as smoothly as they'd like them to be. When you procrastinate, when you get overwhelmed, when you have anxiety, guess what? You are experiencing fear. So what I want to invite people to do today, you, the person watching this right now, is this. I'd like you to actually own that you experience fear. Like, do you really embrace it? Or is there a part of you that hesitates to actually just claim the fact that you have fear? Not claiming that you have fear, that you experience it, just keeps it as a mechanism that's at work in your life that keeps you from the things that you want. If you're not claiming or owning the fact that fear is at work, then you can't shift something like better communication in a relationship, or not feeling irritable or anxious or overwhelmed. You have to actually look at the fear if you want to change the fear, if you want to shift into the habits of courage. And it's kind of funny, really, when you think about it. We all are afraid. So what are we really so afraid of? I mean, I'm afraid of things. I mean, aren't you, right? Like, you're a living, breathing human being. What else is there? You're taking risks. You're putting yourself out there. There are things that you desire. It feels vulnerable. What else could there be other than you feel afraid as this living, breathing human being? And it's completely normal and it's completely natural. And the only thing I think that isn't normal or natural is the way in which we as a society perpetually try to push it away, pretend it's not us, pretend it doesn't exist, and otherwise say, I don't have fear, I have this other problem over here. So think about this today. If you want to actually shift something in your life, go ahead and get something in your life right now that you'd like to actually see move. If you want to shift something in your life, but you are afraid, putting yourself in a position of not owning that fear, of not recognizing, like, oh, that chronic forgetting, that doubt, that hesitation, that taking 5 steps forward and then suddenly doing an about-face U-turn, that making progress and then quitting the project, that self-sabotage maneuver of talking to exactly the person who's going to tell me that my big dream is a bad idea, that's all another form of fear. So you have something you want in your life. Fear is the thing that keeps you from going after it as tenaciously as you'd like to, as courageously as you'd like to. And the first step in working with that fear has got to be owning that you have it. So I say, welcome to the club. You, me, we're in this together. This is what living big looks like. It looks like being in it with all the fear, all the shit that comes up. And, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I hope you wouldn't either.